I rise like the sun sometimes, but then I fall. Like a black moon, I rise when the night calls. When the night falls, the mic calls. So listen, it's the ultraviolet rays that keep me rising on the mission.
What up, all my Exceed the Hype Beast? Welcome back. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because you never know when your team breakdown is gonna drop. Alright, so today's video is about the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks have just stolen the show at this year's NBA draft with their very strategic moves. Now, I'm here to tell you today, this draft was so impressive, I think the Dallas Mavericks have officially resurrected their roster. So let's talk about it. Luka Doncic, the international superstar. I know there's going to be a lot of people who are like, hey, wait a minute, let's wait and see what this guy's going to turn into. But I'm here to tell you, I don't see any bust potential with this pick. First of all, international players, the ones who have been highly touted, usually do pan out because the Euro League that they play in, that they perform in, is typically a higher level of basketball than like the NCAA. So the whole international player, we're not sure how it's going to work out. I think that narrative is long gone. When somebody is highly rated in the international scene, it means they can play. And they don't come more highly rated than Luka Doncic. At 6'6", Luka will be playing both guard positions, a little point guard, but also the two guard position. With all the comparisons he's gotten, there's one that I really get when I look at him. And to me, he looks like Brandon Roy. His game looks a lot like Brandon Roy. A lot of people will scoff at that comparison. Well, first of all, you have to remember, before the injuries, Brandon Roy was an outstanding NBA player. He was one of the top guards in the league behind Kobe and Dwayne Wade. So that's obviously a very great comparison. But honestly, when you watch his game, that's who he looks like to me. That's what his game resembles. So he has great size at 6'6". He has great ball handling ability, great court vision. So as a playmaker, he will be very effective. He's one of those rare guys who look like they can kind of see a play developing before it quite developed. So that's obviously a great asset to have on your team. This guy is somebody who can shoot pretty well. So in all the international basketball, you see a lot of the damage that he does to opposing teams come from behind the arc. So in today's NBA, where there's a premium on three-point shooting, he's obviously going to be very effective. And then one thing I think that's very underrated about him is he's very crafty with the ball. He's very creative off the dribble, but he's also very crafty with his finishes in a lane, with his floaters. He just has a way to kind of get buckets. And I feel like that's something else that's very underrated about his game. Where Luka may get in trouble is he does lack. It doesn't seem like he lacks the elite type of NBA athleticism. But to be honest, for me, I'm like, so what? Because when you can score, when you can shoot, when you can see plays develop on the court, when you know how to play the game, having that super athletic ability isn't necessarily as important. It's great if you can do both. If you're LeBron James walking around the world who's the best athlete and also the smartest, good for you. But most people won't, and to be honest, him not being a super superior athlete like some of the other NBA players won't really matter in my opinion. Let's talk about Jalen Brunson, the second-round draft pick, a guy with 2 NCAA championships on his resume, the starting point guard, somebody who was incredibly vital in both of them. Second-round draft pick, no big deal. Jalen Brunson is just a guy who simply knows how to play the game. Now, I know, once again, we're going to talk about the athleticism thing. He's not super quick. He's not super fast up and down the court like you see a lot of these other NBA players. But one thing about Jalen Brunson is just he knows how to play the game. He knows how to manage the flow and the tempo of the game. He's a great decision maker. I think he will be a great, probably an excellent backup point guard in the NBA. Now, my comparison with Jalen Brunson is Ish Smith. Now, a lot of people are going to look at me like, Ish Smith, really? If you've ever really watched Ish Smith play, Ish Smith has some great basketball ability. He is a very good decision maker, and he is somebody who can really push the tempo, or he can slow the tempo down. He can play both ways. He's a great game managing type of a point guard. I think Jalen Brunson has a lot of these same abilities, except Jalen Brunson is a couple inches bigger. Jalen Brunson is about 6'3", and Jalen Brunson also can shoot much better from the three-point line, which is probably one of the biggest holes in Ish Smith's game. Jalen Brunson was an excellent second-round draft pick for the Dallas Mavericks, and he will be very, very good for the Dallas Mavericks. Their other pick was the very last pick of the draft that they traded for. It was Antetokounmpo's little brother. Now, this is just a project to see how it goes. He's a very long, tall player. He's super athletic like his brother. The problem is he just can't play yet. He just needs to learn the game. He needs to learn the NBA game. He's just going to be a project. Now, something may come out of it, something may not. But I thought with the last pick, trading for the last pick in the draft to get him, I mean, it can't hurt. So those are the 3 draft picks. Let's talk about how they're going to fit with the rest of the team. When you add those 3 guys to Dennis Smith Jr., already a premier young point guard in the game, and a Harrison Barnes, the player who's kind of been holding that team down for the last couple years, trying to carry them on offense and trying to be the star that they sorely need. He really just got a lot of help. And then when you add to the fact that they're going to still be playing with what's left of Dirk, somebody who can still shoot a 7-footer. He may not be able to move like he used to, but he can still light it up from the three-point line. You have quite a little core to build on with those guys. And then when you look at the free agency scene, there's a couple of big centers out there. There's a guy who's available via trade in Miami, and then there's also the guy from LA who almost signed with Dallas a couple years ago, Deandre Jordan. There's even somebody like Dwight Howard out there. You could start to see this team taking form and becoming a team that could be quite a tough out in the Western Conference. In my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, the Dallas Mavericks are back. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Do you think the Mavs are back? Do you think the Mavs won the draft? Let me know down below. All right, see you next time.